finals, so that should be happening. And for now, let's jump into our quarterfinal match. So we'll cast this, both semis and the finals, which means we've got 3 best of 3s and a best of 5 left to come your way here today. So let's go into this with INnoVation versus Bunny. To the bottom right-hand side of the map, the red Terran player from Dust Gaming is going to be Bunny. And he's going to be going up against the blue Terran to the top left-hand side of the map. Guys, give it up for INnoVation. Alright, so with that said, we go into this TvT and look to see what's going to happen on Paladino Terminal. One interesting map specifically for TvT, I would say. It's a weird one, you know. It's definitely one of those ones that's a little bit out there in terms of how the map can play out, and I'm actually very intrigued to see how this works in the TvT matchup. So setting up into this, going to be seeing second refinery on the way up here from INnoVation. So setting up into his second gas, and we're just going to be seeing Bunny. Now his first rack's about halfway done, and this second gas from Bunny on the way up as well. So setting up into this, you're going to be seeing how things go, of course. I mean, overall, just slightly faster second gas for INnoVation, but other than that, nothing too crazy. I was going to see Bunny's actually going to drop down the factory and then the Reaper. Reaper comes up then the factory for INnoVation, so that means the same idea from both players. It's just very slightly different ways of going about it right now. So, slightly different ways of approaching this. As we, we'll see this Rax factory continue to come on up here. So Rax factory continue to come on up. And yeah, just waiting to see how this continues. This is of course the Korean Bunny, guys, not the Danish Bunny, I suppose. As you see the first Reaper popping out. So first Reaper will start moving out towards the center of the map. Second Reaper on the way as well. I mean, 2 Reaper playstyles, 2 Reaper openers have been very popular lately. It's actually just going to be the single Reaper though out of Bunny, who drops down a Cyclone after his factory finishes. Will drop down the starport as well. INnoVation should do something somewhat similar. He's got the gas to do so. Actually builds a Hellion first of all, so going to be going for kind of Reaper Hellion. It's interesting, we've seen a lot of different ways of opening. As actually INnoVation picks off a Reaper. Winning that little bit of a fight in the middle of the map already is a big victory for him, so well, that's a big positive as we see this Reaper of INnoVation still moving around to see what he can get up to. Second Reaper coming down in towards the center of the map as well from INnoVation now. See what is happening here. Alien will move out into towards the middle of the map as well, and just going to be seeing the starport is on the way up from both players, so setting up into that starport. And again, I mean, 2 very different ways of approaching this game so far. Obviously, the Cyclone versus the Reaper Hellion. I mean, it's Reaper Hellion against, like, Cyclone Marine as well, so it is very different. As you do see INnoVation just straight towards the Cloak Banshee. Just dropping down that Cloak, the Banshee on the way up as well. Setting up into this, looking to see how this is going to go. And now a Cyclone from INnoVation also popping on out here. So he's setting up into this as these 2 Reapers and 2 Hellions, while they look around to see what they might want to try and get done. So they're moving around, looking towards the natural expansion right now as we speak. It's going to be seeing those units of Bunny getting lifted up, and they're going to pull back over to the left-hand side. So they're going to pull back over to the left, and INnoVation again, a couple of Hellions here just sat just out the front right now. So they're just sat at the front and getting this medevac. Going to continue over to the left-hand side to see what else he can get up to. Now, Raven starts to build as a follow-up from INnoVation, and I mean, we've been seeing a lot of Raven-based openings lately, obviously, and this is just going to be one of them. As the 2 Reapers go into the main base, they get taken down by the tank before they can even deny this SCV. And that's a pretty big deal as INnoVation. I mean, losing a depot on the low ground is supply blocked. His command center is a little bit later to build as well, which also will come into play here. As you can see, the Cyclone and 4 Marines is dropping down from Bunny, and now doing a little bit of damage to this upper depot. Looking around, I mean, most importantly, he's keeping INnoVation busy at home. He's not letting this Banshee come across this map, which is a pretty big deal. I mean, if this Banshee can't get across the map, you don't have to worry about defending it as much. And obviously, it's buying him time to get a turret up, and so much more as well. Now the Viking comes in and greets it, which means he's going to force a Cloak very early on. And so continue to move across here. We will see what he's going to be able to get up to. So Banshee moves on over, heads in towards the main now. Second Raven starts to build from INnoVation as well. This is something we've also seen a lot of lately. The double Raven players. This Banshee's not going to find much at all, is it? I mean, so far, there's a scan. I guess he can come out of range and actually maybe fight this tank. So that's something. At the very least, may find... Oh, well, there's a Raven actually, so... It's going to be the end of this Banshee. So really nothing done at all, I guess, by INnoVation with this Banshee early on. Unfortunately, not able to do much at all here. It's just going to be seeing units gathering together. Second CC is obviously about to finish from INnoVation. Again, a little bit later than his opponent. But let's look at INnoVation's advantages, I suppose. So let's see what is going right for him. Well, he does have the double Raven against single Raven. That's actually pretty powerful, and he's got that a little bit earlier, so he'll have a little bit energy on his Ravens. Outside of that, I mean, he starts up his second, third rack sooner, he starts up Stimpak a lot sooner. But he is much further behind in terms of an actual fight in the near future. He doesn't have as much army supply, so INnoVation has things going for him if he survives for the next few moments. But first of all, he has to sort of survive, I suppose, as you see this tank and siege, and another tank going to lift up here as well in a moment or so. I'm just going to start heading out onto the map. So Marines working their way through those Hellions, and then getting a couple of Ravens, a Viking, and a Medevac with Hellbats inside, moving forwards and looking to see where they can get to. Both these Hellions in the center getting taken down there, so they get taken down pretty quickly as, again, continue to push forward. Cyclones will start to fight each other now, and, well, I mean, what's INnoVation, you know, how does INnoVation defend this? Well, he does have 2 tanks. That's the problem with auto turrets nowadays. 2 tanks can get busted down very easily, and look at this, we actually see Bunny starting to position up in towards INnoVation's main base. The tanks are going to siege up over here, and now he's going to start loading the Cyclone, the Marines up as well, and INnoVation is completely out of position. Did not see this one coming, the attacking towards the main, so he's going to have to reposition against this, and it's going to be difficult. You know, here we go, auto turrets will start to drop down. I mean, they're going to be a big part of this defense. Auto turrets from Bunny as well. Is it enough soon enough? He sieges up his own tanks INnoVation too, and, well, he's got some Marines left over. I don't think it's enough, though, at all. Bunny has way too much. In game number 1, Bunny will pick up the victory. He goes 1 in the round of 8, so that's ongoing. We don't really have any updates on that for you guys. We'll give you any updates we have ASAP, but your best bet might just be to keep watching or keep an eye on that bracket. So you set up into this, the top right hand side of the map. Our red Terran player from Dust Gaming is going to be Bunny. And he is going to be going up against the blue Terran to the bottom left hand side of the map. It's INnoVation. Okay, so we set up into game number 2 of this best of 3 series. Look to see how this is going to go, what's going to happen over the next couple of moments. I mean, INnoVation just got caught completely off guard, did not even think about the possibility of a medevac to elevate those units up into his main base. And you could see that he just got caught completely off guard. He was doing nothing about it. He was trying to attack in. Basically, after it happened, it was just disastrous. You know, it was not the way it was meant to be at all. So it was not a pretty way to start. As Bunny takes game number 1, and now INnoVation is going to have to try and bounce back down a game. This is actually the first WardiTV weekly he's played in, so nice to have him on board and taking part with everyone. It's great to have him here. And again, we sort of talk about these WardiTV weeklies just as kind of online events and just like one-off events each week. But actually, we're going to be inviting the winners of the WardiTV weekly. They are guaranteed an invite spot. If they want it, of course, they are very welcome to decline if they do not want to play. But they will be invited to the a larger event at some point from WardiTV. Probably, we've been kind of looking at when to do it. It's just a little bit awkward trying to figure it out. We might try and run it before Katowice, i.e. run it over the next week or two. If there's no SGL or Leifeng Cup this week, basically. So that's what we're sort of looking at here as a possibility. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of leads to what, and to see if there is a realistic chance of getting that done, getting that played out or not. So, but yeah, always worth keeping that in mind. We'll probably not just invite winners, but also other people who have played frequently in the WardiTV weekly. Obviously, we're going to kind of base it around the Korean server, or at least around Korean, sort of time zones, I guess. So many of these Korean players have been giving us great games lately. It would be nice to give them a bit of a larger cup to play in as well. Something with like group stages, kind of similar to the WardiTV Christmas Invitational, I suppose. Maybe an extra qualifier or so. But you just see the Reapers kind of fighting each other here now, and we're going to be seeing the Reaper of INnoVation getting pushed back over to the left-hand side. Another grenade going down here as well, and Bunny just continues to chase on forwards. So a little bit of a Reaper skirmish early on Proxima. However, both players are opting to expand much faster in this game, so not as much pressure early. Still going to be the Cyclone coming out. And we're going to see that Cyclone starting to help push this Reaper away. So all said and done, INnoVation comes out with a Reaper and a Cyclone. Medevac on the way up as well. And both players have a CC, very simple situations in the early stages. Very simple situations in these early stages now, as Marines and Widowmine over on the main base. Going to see those units starting to load on up, and just going to push out through the top side of the map. You can see the Reaper forces, the Reapers fighting each other right now as well, so a little bit of Reaper on Reaper action. You're going to see 2 Marines and the Reaper here as well will continue to fight. Grenade goes down and Cyclone gets pushed back down the ramp. I'm going to be seeing the Cyclone continue to come on in, and well, I guess committed a bit too far. Doesn't even kill the Reaper in the end, so a little bit unfortunate there. INnoVation losing out, and now he's going to be under attack with this Widowmine drop coming across the map towards his base. So INnoVation may have to find a way to fight against this. Widowmine manages to burrow just before getting picked off, and actually the Reaper gets out of there just before he gets picked off by the Widowmine. So a little bit of a kind of scary couple of moments on either side. Marines out of position now as the drop goes towards the main base. Widowmine will burrow, SCVs will probably not going to split away at all. He's actually going to keep retargeting. And he kills one. I mean, obviously you're looking to only kill one worker here if a Widowmine shot into an SCV line. Because that medevac very low, but will lift up again, and look at this drop between the main and the natural. Bunny abusing the position right now. Not abusing, but using the position of the main and natural to just keep pushing himself into a better position. And INnoVation is once again the player taking damage in the early stages. He's not looking great in this TvT. He is not looking great at all. In fact, he's once again falling quite far behind, quite early, and well, this time Bunny's going to start a bit of a faster third CC, so maybe not as much of an aggressive follow-up available this time. You know, maybe he's not going to be able to just end the game with a follow-up attack in just a couple of moments, no problem at all, you know. But, I do wonder, like, yeah, I mean, obviously it's just another way that INnoVation falls behind. The last game he fell behind because there's too much army. This game he's going to fall behind because he's not going to have enough economy. So while he does once again have a faster stim pack, he's going to have faster extra barracks. Or does he have extra barracks? He doesn't. He's just... No, he does. He's got 3 racks. He's going to have faster racks, but again, he'll be falling behind in the worker count. So I guess INnoVation's play right now is to try and catch up by being aggressive and to doing enough damage to make it so that that third base isn't going to pull Bunny too far ahead. That's his goal right now. Is we're going to be seeing this medevac coming in towards the main, and obviously we'll just get repaired on up. Might go back off across the map with these Marines. Might just stick around on this side. I mean, I guess there's sort of point in TvT where until you get stim pack and so on, you know, certain drops don't really do very much, and I guess that's kind of one of those situations. Widowmine here gets taken down now as well. It's been there a little while. I didn't know actually what it actually killed, but cleans it out as he takes his position at the front for this third base. So he sets up into this. Bunny drops that down, and still just a couple more Marines spreading themselves out. One to the left, a couple up through the center. And this medevac or 2 are going to load up these Marines as well, and they're going to go over to the right-hand side of the map now to see what else is going on as well. So these 2 medevacs on over to the right, and I'm just going to be seeing still 1-1 upgrades on the way from both players. It is still INnoVation with the fastest impact, which again can be very useful here, and again he's going to have the much stronger follow-up as well when it comes to continuing to produce units and continuing to attack. So INnoVation, yes, he's hurting, yes, he's down a bit, but now his SCV, you know, his lack of SCVs is because he's choosing not to build more SCVs. And the biggest issue for INnoVation, I think, is the fact that Bunny is now on 5 barracks and INnoVation is just still on 3. And that's just kind of a sign of kind of how the economies have been looking throughout the earlier stages of this game already. So I really do feel as though INnoVation, I mean, he's going to look to attack here soon. I think he's looking to hit a combat shield timing, and he's looking to hit a combat shield timing, and pretty much past that, you know, he doesn't have anything else to play for right now. You know, he's got less barracks. And that's not an issue just yet, because these barracks are only just building up reactors. Once these reactors are done, now now Bunny will have so much more production and INnoVation. That's where his real issue is going to come from. So INnoVation, he'll look to attack forwards. Again, I mean, I think he just has to go with combat shields and just hope that that upgrade lead with the combat shields will be enough to end this. He's actually going to start +2 attack, though. I mean, considering that he's looking to end this in the next couple of months, I suppose if he does enough damage, then a +2 attack will be a justifiable follow-up. Something he needs to stay in the game. But can he do that much damage? Combat shield's about to finish. I mean, what's the timing window on this? He's got 60 seconds until his opponent's finishes, and 10 seconds for his own. It's definitely possible. He doesn't want to fight in just yet. He needs the combat shields. That's his upgrade lead. That's his advantage here in the next few moments. He needs this. And you can see him setting up his tanks. And he's just going to have to try and go for it, right? He's got shields right now. His actual tanks are doing quite a lot of damage here initially. Bunny making some mistakes. Here he goes, stimming on in. This is the spread out, and Well, Bunny's tanks are very much so on their own at the front here, and multiple of them going down already as INnoVation. He's looking to hit this one timing that he has in this game, and you know what? So far, it's going pretty well. SCV's pulling forwards now too, as INnoVation has one more tank to get rid of in the back, but the Marine Force for Bunny is mostly gone. INnoVation's tanks push forwards as well, and this is INnoVation doing what he needs to do. He picks off multiple tanks right now, and that is going to be INnoVation hitting the timing attack, which he needs to make happen to keep himself in this. GG. INnoVation picks up a jumping game. We're going to start off to the bottom left side of the map. Our red Terran player, it is going to be from Dust Gaming, Bunny. And his opponent to the top left is INnoVation, the blue Terran. First of all, to quickly answer a question in the chat, Ninja Toss, is there a Matcherino code linked to, or Matcherino link to donate somewhere? Not today. Today's event not sponsored by Matcherino, not got any coupon codes from Matcherino or anything like that, so it is just the just $100 prize pool, no Matcherino page or anything like that to support the players on today. We're working on hopefully bringing back Matcherino support for this event, but we only had the first 4 events guaranteed, and I've had real life stuff all week last week that I just didn't get around to kind of PMing people to sort it out or anything, so it was just one of those things that I just didn't have time for, and I still wanted to bring an event today, so we just put it on nonetheless. Now, just kind of discussing that last game a little bit still, as we set up on Honor Grounds early, with a similar kind of Reaper-based opening from both. We'll keep an eye on this. 2 Reapers on the way, probably either, obviously, Hellions or Cyclone. It's going to be Hellions from INnoVation, Cyclone from Bunny. Just want to talk about that last game. INnoVation, I mean, he definitely fell a bit behind from that early drop, and from there he said, right, well, my best chance to get back into this is to be aggressive, you know, to go and just build up 3 racks, not worry too much kind of going past the 3 barracks. But once I'm on 3 racks, just look to attack and look to kind of work the advantage I do have, which is maybe a faster set of bio upgrades, as he focuses on a bit of a faster third command center. So INnoVation took that one advantage he had, and I mean, he worked it. You saw with the drop, he didn't actually commit to the drop, because he knew how important the Marine count was going to be in the larger fight a little bit later on. And so with that, he was able to take the advantage, and he was able to take the victory when he came to that engagement, because he had a good enough Marine count with combat shields versus no combat shield. Now we do see INnoVation here. He is just going to be pulling back up towards the top left-hand side of this Hellion, and Reaper coming up here as well. We see a couple of Reapers of Bunny going to jump up in towards the main bases. Actually picks off that Hellion as well. Killed a Reaper of INnoVation earlier as well, by the way, as INnoVation did a pretty good job of picking up a kill on an SCV that was built in the starport. So bits and pieces right now as we see both of them heading in towards fairly quick command centers despite the double gas. Raven on the way from both, so no commitment to Cloak Banshee or anything, just straight to Raven. Playing kind of safely / able to harass with the Raven as well is obviously a pretty solid way to play, so that's what we're setting up in towards over the next couple of minutes. So as Ravens pop out and SCVs continue to build, it looks as though we're going to have a nice standard slow-paced game for the initial stages of Honor Grounds. And just in case you're unfamiliar with this map, well, the natural expansion is in base. It's actually definitely a rotational spawn advantage to Bunny. He can drop from his main to his opponent's natural so easily, whereas INnoVation from his main has to drop kind of through his own natural, and he sort of arrives kind of in this space here, which is not as great, and especially as the third base comes up. You know, Bunny kind of sits at his third base and he will defend a lot, whereas INnoVation sits at his third base and he doesn't defend anywhere near as much, because, you know, just because of where the drops are likely to come in from because of the positions. So that's what's going on. Just going to see SCVs still lining away on these minerals. Going to see the orbital command center starting up on the natural then. And that'll happen on either side of the map as Stimpak starts up pretty much simultaneously. And we're also going to be seeing the factory just pumping out another tank or so. Reactors coming down, barracks coming up. Nice standard stuff. Extra gases from Bunny already on his natural expansion. Obviously quite eager to get in towards some further production here, be it in upgrades, be it in, I guess, just further tanks and medevacs, I suppose. See the starport just moving off to the side. So actually, they're going to be a little bit of a disadvantage here from Bunny. INnoVation is going to have 2 reactors and a tech lab already set up on his barracks. It looks as though Bunny is going to actually have to build his own second reactor for one of these racks right here on its own. So that's going to slow down marine production slightly. That's, you know, just slightly crisper build for INnoVation. Is there any reason for that? Well, not really. Both of them have 2 Ravens out, so no real reason for that to be the case. You're going to see double turret coming down and actually chasing down quite a few of these SCVs. He's going to get one more down in the corner over here, which is going to continue to push them away. So actually SCV's taking a lot of damage over here. INnoVation taking a bit of a worker lead. There's the double Raven now for Bunny as well, though. There is a siege tank here, but that's probably just going to mean a dead siege tank. Cyclone coming in as well. Yeah, dead tank definitely. And I mean, for East turrets, they all come in similar locations. The tank goes down. That's about it. Raven's on the way out from both players. Back home, get to safety, and go from here. Useful to see the Marines and a tank and a Cyclone just join up on the natural. Again, INnoVation will have to pay much more attention to his, to his kind of unit positioning in the natural expansion, I think, than Bunny will. We mentioned that just before. And that really might kind of be what kind of draws him out of position a lot of the time when thinking about a third base. It might even force his hand as to what sort of build he wants to go for here. He might really commit towards a more aggressive kind of, push similar to what we saw in the last game, not thinking so much of a third CC as, as what Bunny might do. He might just say, well, this is a great map for me to take or great position to take my third CC on. He takes his third, then again, he kind of defends pretty much the front of this base. And then INnoVation has to go around the side to drop in from the right, but that's much more predictable. A couple of turrets here. I guess it's very predictable on the other side as well. Anyways, we're going to be seeing these auto turrets coming in, and they are going to try and get rid of combat shields. They will get rid of that, so combat shields going down. It will slow INnoVation's upgrades here slightly. As INnoVation sieges his tanks and looks as though he might be thinking of moving out a little bit here in the next couple of moments. He's already got double drop across the map. Again, very similar to the last game, but obviously without combat shields, he won't have a timing to really hit, and also the fact that his opponent is doing the exact same as him right now means there isn't really a time to hit here anyways either. So, I mean, he's just going to probably play around with the drop, see what else he can do. These Ravens still being a bit of a nuisance. This is why it's nice to even just build one Viking to kind of, keep zoning these Ravens out. His missile turret, though, is going to get some good damage done, and doesn't quite kill one of the Ravens, but does get it very low on health, making it so that at least he's going to have to go back to repair or something, if not maybe not something else here shortly. Reaper on the watchtower, we'll see where these Marines are. I'm actually going to hit a nice grenade as well, just get a bit more damage done. Reaper pulls away to stay alive. There's medevacs from INnoVation, not going to do much towards the front as he tries to drop on in. So both players trying to kind of keep the map control in their own way, either through Raven pressure or through this double drop play. Neither of them really, again, though, being too successful, I'd say, so far, as INnoVation will start the 4th and 5th barracks. And so here we go. He's going to really commit to this kind of two-base playstyle for a while longer now, as these Marines stepping forwards, picking off a Marine of his opponent. Reaper will sit on that watchtower still, and well, yeah, there's one Marine from Bunny pulling on over to the left here. You see Marines and 2 medevacs of INnoVation just sat waiting to see what is next, what will happen now. Yeah, and there's 4 medevacs actually from Bunny loading on up and getting ready to push forwards, see what he can do. So 4 tanks, 5 tanks actually. There's a lot of tanks in this. He's 7 forwards INnoVation. It's nice. He forces the unload and he forces this to slow down a little bit. He actually sends his own Doom drop through the center of the map, so this is really nice. If INnoVation can keep this from dropping, well, dropping himself, that would be huge. As this Widow Mine does not get to go off before the Ravens provide the needed detection. Oh man, this is going to be a mega drop, and again, INnoVation is just going to hit so much sooner than his opponent is, and that is going to be huge here as he just drops on in. Tanks will begin to siege. I mean, there's multiple tanks, there's a lot of Marines, and here we go. I mean, just having to push in towards the siege tanks is the issue here for Bunny. I mean, yes, he's got a tank of his own, but this is really, really bad because his natural expansion is just cut off from his main, and look at this, he pulls his main army back, so he decides to try and defend this by, by pulling back with everything, and yeah, I mean, he'll clean out this army of INnoVation, but he lost a lot of SCVs over here. He definitely took some damage on the way in, and while it looks like INnoVation didn't leave with very much, resources lost is still favoring INnoVation at this point, plus he's taken a worker count advantage as well. Pushing down with the rest of his army now as well, INnoVation just looking for a follow-up. I think INnoVation's weakest point at this right now is probably going to be the tank count, I suppose, because he lost a few tanks in that. And that's something you can't just recover from instantly. The tanks do take a while to build up, especially with the way they're playing 2 base apiece. It's only 1 factory each, so it's only 1 tank at a time. Biggest difference right now, I guess, is that INnoVation not only works ahead, but also on 2 extra barracks. He's on 5 against 3, and that does mean he's just got that extra production, which can really count for so much. As, oh my god, this drop is going to move on up. It is going to fly over a couple of Marines. INnoVation, is he going to stem to fight this? I mean, this is such a weird point of play, as you'll see the Ravens are going to come in, and they're going to start dropping auto turrets. Some more Marines here, and actually the auto turrets will push this back for now as INnoVation is relocating his main base. He's going to stem up this ramp. He's going to go in for the production of his opponent, and we are in a base trade. But INnoVation already getting a little bit of an upper hand, just starting this off a little bit faster than his opponent starts. He's got a tank in a great position here as well. Look at the damage he does onto the tanks of his opponent. In the end, it's one tank for one tank, but again, just dealing a bit more damage, getting some of the other tanks low on health can mean so much here. As well, INnoVation still building a lot of Marines. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to really get away. Then again, obviously, Bunny not going to be able to build much else either this game, and he is trailing. He's definitely in the disadvantage in this location right now. As you do see this one CC floating away to the right-hand side. Can he force a draw, perhaps? Well, I mean, INnoVation's still mine. He's actually got a lot of money. So I think realistically, INnoVation is kind of okay. I mean, I think even if he needs to, I think he'll be able to get a starport up and probably build Vikings. He's going to load up everything now and pull back home. He might just say, hey, I've got so much anyways, I've got enough. I can make this work. He's actually building a couple of Liberators out of his starport right now, which would themselves the game ending. Actually, Bunny's just going to type one out. He knows he can't win this. He knows there's just no way he has enough to win the base trade. He's seen the size